Thomas here with Much Props, going to give you another how-to video. I have seen a drastic increase in my Mortal Kombat Menpo build, over 250,000 views over the past couple months, and that's a pretty large number for a channel my size, and I thought, why not revisit that video, redesign the template, make it better, show you what a year's worth of prop making skills has been improved, and make something completely new. So I am going to redo the template, make it better, make it fit faces better, and put my own spin on it and create my own Mortal Kombat type characters using that Menpo template. So today we are making custom Mortal Kombat Menpos. Let's get to building. So I completely redid the template from scratch, making it more form-fitting and less bulky than the original. I will add a recessed panel as I go, but it will already be done on the finished template. First thing I do is trace my pattern onto my material. I'm using some 6mm HD foam from SKS. If a part has an R on the template, that means it's for the right side. Flip the template face down to get the left side traced. I put contact cement on all the edges, let it sit for a few minutes, then start tacking things together. I left the template at the top so you can see the alignment of the parts. Using the registration marks, I work my way around the mask. The more flush I make the outside, the less sanding I'll have to do later. I did not heat form any part of this mask. It holds its shape pretty well. Because my seams are pretty good, I simply run over all the edges with a stone bit on my Dremel to smooth out anything that may be proud. It was here that I decided to do a recess, and I add a little dimension to the mask by overlapping the edge. You could already have traced this and cut it out at this point, but I decided to do it last minute, so that's why you're seeing it added to the template. The cut bottom parts get glued underneath the cheek ridge. For this first one, I'm gonna do a little overlay. To eliminate the seams in the middle, I trace the part connected with just a little dart on the top. I marked on the template to help you line up this if you want to follow what I did. If not, you could cut an angle on the overlay on the inside middle edge and actually give a pointed middle detail. Now from here my detail strays more from the original design of the Mortal Kombat Menpo, and I'm just kind of piecing things together as I go. I decided for this one to add a couple of raised strips to give some interest to the flat areas. I cut out some strips of 4mm foam and held them together with painter's tape so that I could coat several at one time instead of trying to contact cement each one individually. To add smaller rivets, I took the bit that holds a cutting wheel and unscrewed the tip off, then plunged that into the EVA to add a little detail. In the recesses, I decided to put some EVA chainmail from Ben Eadie over at Foam Armory. I'll leave links to his store and socials in the description if you want to purchase some. I have several videos like the King Arthur helmet, a custom cyberpunk mask, and pauldrons from The Witcher 3 that I've used this chainmail. I just contact cement the edges, then glue it to the inside of the mask. Hit it with 2 coats of Plasti Dip, then my typical aged metal treatment of misting silver, brown, and black spray paint. The rest of my paint job is by hand using some Plaid Effects acrylic paint. I put down 1 even coat of orange as the base. Then I lightly stipple on some red to add a little color variation, and once that dried, I dragged a little yellow across some of the high points. Then I covered the mask in a clear coat to protect my paint job progress. Of course, I have to dirty it up in Much Props fashion, so I brushed on a slightly watered down brush with black and brown all over the whole mask, then wipe off the high points with a paper towel. The strapping is that simple 3/4 inch elastic banding sandwiched between the mask and some small pieces of 4mm EVA. For another variation to show you how this mask is a great base, I decided to make one with some wood grain. I like to burn mine into the foam with a wood burner so that it makes it easier when paint time comes. I freehand my pattern onto the mask as I go. Make sure to wear a respirator and work in a well ventilated area because you don't want to breathe in EVA burnt fumes. I glue in some panels to the recessed areas so that the moss has something attached to here in a minute. Same sealing as before with 2 coats of Plastidip. For my wood paint job, I start with dark brown and push it into the grooves, wait for it to dry a little bit, then progressively dry brush on lighter and lighter layers of brown to build up the detail. For my recesses, I'm going to use some more of that moss sheet that you saw me use in my masquerade mask. Bought it at the craft store not too long ago. After cutting out the shape, I peel the sticky backing off and put it directly in the recess. For the strapping on this one, I thought I would try something a little different using a wreath wire that I bought. Kind of looks like some vines, and I thought it went well with the mask theme. I attach it just like I would the elastic banding. I loop the ends to prevent it from unraveling, and also did it on the other side so it gives more surface area when I glue it to the mask, making it harder to pull out of the foam. And we are finished. Overall, I think they turned out pretty cool. I definitely liked this one a little bit more than this one, but I think they're both pretty cool. Using Ben Eadie's chainmail inside the cheeks for a little inlay detail, adding some orange on top of it and kind of scuffing it up a little bit using the traditional strapping for the back, whereas with this one, using that moss stuff that you saw me use on my masquerade mask I made a few weeks ago, and then trying some different strapping material. I'm using some wire used typically for reef making. I thought that was a pretty cool idea, and it simply just twists in the back when you put it on. So yeah, let me know in the comments below which one you like more. If you would like me to try some other type of builds like this, I've got some ideas in mind, maybe trying it with different materials, making it out of cardboard or plastic or whatever. Just let me know and I'll try and make another video like this, but with different materials, so you can see that these templates don't necessarily have to be made out of EVA foam. Maybe you will try and make a mask yourself and impress your friends with your ability to come up with something new while at the same time doing something old. That works too. Maybe you'll get some.
Yay!
And inevitably, they're gonna ask you, how'd you make that? You can give them one of these, tell them, much props. I'm gonna go with the orange one. Peace out!